Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for clicking on. This is Delia Yeager, and I am so glad that you're here. And on this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the only navigational tool you'll ever need. Um, so when you go to school and when you go to work and when you're out in the world and when you're making your own decisions, right? Under all these circumstances, we're encouraged and trained and programmed to think in terms of judgment and discernment and things like the pro and the con list, or reason, or rationalization, or it all has to do with thinking and judgment. And there are places where that's appropriate, but in most of life and living, no. And what I mean by that is, what if you could know what beyond your heart of hearts, like your truest, deepest self, the deepest part of you that maybe you have trouble reaching. What if you could be making your choices based on that deep, deep, deep inner knowing, the way what's truest for you. Like I said, the part that's so deep, can be very challenging to reach. So if you could navigate from that, doesn't that feel better, right? If you could really know without any self-doubt, without having to justify it to yourself or anybody else, without having to defend your choice. I mean, think about how much defending we do in the course of a day, especially if you're a woman. It's like, well, who told you that? Where, who says that? Who are you talking? I mean, I remember going through a period in my 20s, college age era, and soon after that, and counting how many times my friends would say, and me would say, well, my father said, or my brother said, or my husband said, or my boyfriend said. And the number of times we qualified what we were saying based on whose information, whose credibility we were using. It was nauseating even to me at the time. I didn't have a solution for it back then, but I did notice it. And now in the current alternate reality atmosphere that we have with the Trump era and all the fakaka around vaccines and the news and all of that stuff, it's even more important that you have a way to navigate by something truer than the winds of change and the winds of what's going on right now. And that you are able to access your own knowing. Because once you know what you know, and you know that you know it, and it's not a big deal to you that you know it, in the sense that you don't have to defend for or against knowing what you know, then you're living in a different world, and you're living in a much truer reality than somebody else's. So what is this magic tool? And the way I'm going to phrase it, well, I'll talk about it some more, but go ahead and close your eyes and just take a couple of nice deep breaths. And just with every breath that you take, just have the idea of coming in to you more and more and more and more and more, more of you coming into you, whatever that might mean. Just allow more of you to be present right here, right now, with your sweet body. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 sentences that you're going to repeat in your head to you. And right now you're going to ask your body for a sensation that you can feel for each of these sentences. Give your body permission to turn up the volume on the sensation so that you can perceive it and recognize it. So the first sentence is, my body likes to drink water. My body likes to drink water. And notice the sensations. Notice how your body feels. And the second one is, my body likes to drink paint thinner. My body likes to drink paint thinner, which is poison. So hopefully you got 2 distinctly different sensations. Water tends to be light, bright, and expansive. There's lots of flow. It's very comfortable, comforting. And paint thinner tends to be dark and or heavy and or constricting, tight. So this is the way that your higher self, your the infinite part of you, the part of you that's always existed and always will exist. The part of you that existed before you had this body and will exist after you have this body. This is the way that your higher self can use the sensations of your body to give you your yes or no, right? So if we make something like 50,000 choices and decisions a day. If you were to make all of them from light and heavy, you would be continually going towards the light. And you would be continually going to what's truer and truer and righter for you. This really is the only navigational tools that you need, light and heavy. It's flow or no flow. It's go or not go. It's bright or dark. And when the more you use this on things that are not emotionally charged, like, everybody has to eat every day, or everybody does eat every day. So if you start to use light and heavy about, you pick up a food or you look in the refrigerator and you say, truth, is this the right thing for me to eat right now? Is this maybe not right, maybe not that word. Maybe is this the best? Is this the best thing for me to eat right now? And you wait for that light and heavy. And as you can tell from the experience you've already had, it's a very gentle, mild kind of thing, subtle, right? It's not going to hit you over the head with a sledgehammer. Like all of your knowing, it's not insistent. And you can override it at any time. What most of us have learned is that when you override your knowing, sometimes called intuition, sometimes called a gut hunch, you can do it, but it's usually not in your best interest, right? So of the 50,000 choices that you make in a day, if you just started using light and heavy for 10 choices a day, just start with the food, or start with what clothes, So in the morning, body, do you want to wear this, light or heavy? Or do you want to wear this, light or heavy? And then go with whatever the light is. And you're doing a number of things when you do it this way. You're increasing your awareness of your choices and of your body, and of how much your body actually is on your side and is working really hard to communicate with you in ways that society tells us not to listen. Society has a war on being human, has a war on bodies. It has a war on female bodies. It has a war. It just likes to war. And when you're warring with something, you can't really hear it or perceive it properly, because you just see all the war stuff. So light and heavy is the tool. And you ask your body for a sensation loud enough for you to feel it. I know I'm mixing metaphors there, but that's okay. Because this is energy. And energy is not limited to the laws of physics. Physics by nature is about physicality. It's about cells and atoms. And the laws of physics are really observations. The laws of physics are of unto themselves, but the way we use it, it's explanations and stuff. So light and heavy. And the way to use this is you say truth first. And when you're learning, I started out by saying, like, truth, is this the best apple for me to eat today? Light or heavy? And I would say all of that, including light and heavy, or water and paint thinner, because I was getting in the habit, it was still like chewing gum and riding a bike at the same time. It took me saying the whole sentence. So you can try that. So truth, is this the best apple for me to eat right now? And then put that one down and pick up another one. Because the more you're using this, the more you're building this muscle, this awareness muscle, this spiritual muscle of awareness, so that you're developing your ability to communicate with your body in its vocabulary. And you're learning how to make your choices based on what's light for you, as opposed to based on a criteria given to you by somebody else. Now, if you're working with physical stuff, if you're working with mechanical stuff, then mechanical questions are appropriate. And if you're working in a team and you're at the office or you're at school and you have to show how you got somewhere, how what your reasoning was, that's fine. I mean, do that too. But in the confines of your own space, you can use light and heavy for everything. And then what'll happen is you can use light and heavy, and then it's light for you to light heavy, and it came up light for you. Use the vocabulary of the situation. But you can use, out of 50,000 choices a day, I guarantee you can use light and heavy for 49,000. It will work. And the more you do that, the more you're changing the course of everything in your life into being more and more true for you. So this is not capital T truth that you're trying to persuade and convince other people about. It's not that kind of truth. It's what's really true for you. And it's the kind of truth that you don't have to defend or justify to anybody. And so water and paint thinner, light and heavy, flow and no flow. And the tool is to just ask truth, blah, 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 and wait for that sensation of flow or no flow, yes or no. And then do that thing. And, do the experiment. I'm not trying to convince you. Do the experiment and start to use this more and more and notice what happens. I mean, a lot of people these days, one of the great things that has happened in the past couple of years with all the COVID stuff is that people are, there was a wrench thrown, and people are less on automatic pilot. And, kind of some hypnosis has been breaking, more and more hypnosis things have been kind of breaking, and people are popping aware. And so being more aware and using tools like this helps you to get your life more in tune with what you actually want to do, instead of what the mandates of school or work or something else are. It's more like what's true for you, what's going to nourish and nurture you. Because the more you are nurtured and nourished, and the more kind you are to you, then that's what you're growing in, not only in your own world, in your own experience, but in the larger society. And the whole larger society just definitely is asking and begging for more sanity, more truth, and more joy. And being you get to be you all day long, should be a joyful experience. And it can be, the more you're finding ways to be true to you. And I don't mean psychology ways, I don't mean explaining ways, I don't mean all of that. I mean, just in the confines of your own head and heart, how do you be true to you? And using light and heavy helps you make demonstrative choices that affect how you be in the world, to be a safer place for you to be, in your own body, in your own head, in your own heart, and in your own life, in your own skin. And that is a huge contribution to everybody. So water and paint thinner, light and heavy, flow, no flow, light and dark. Play with this tool, truth, blah, 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 and wait for the yes or the no. And yeah, a really useful thing is, let's say you do, well, let's try it this way. So close your eyes, take a couple of nice deep breaths, and say, truth, my name is, and say your name. And ask for the light or the heavy. So truth, my name is such and such. And ask for light or heavy. And now say, truth, my name is, and fill in the blank with something your name isn't, right? So how this goes is, truth, my name is Delia, you get a sensation. And then truth, my name is Ed, and get a sensation, okay? Now, if you say, truth, my name is, and it is, it ought to be light. And you say, truth, my name is, and it isn't, then it ought to be constricting, right? Now, if they're reversed, they're going to be reversed about everything. So here's how you fix that. Repeat after me. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. You might want to write that down. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. So you say them together, and you say them over and over and over again until you feel a shift in your body. Usually your body's going to feel lighter and brighter and better. And then keep saying it a few more times after that. So what that does is it's a simple way to say it. It's like it reverses the polarity. If you say my name is your name and you get a constriction, this is going to help with that. It'll help to flip that. So there's actually other things going on, but we're not going to go into them right yet. So this is a fantastic tool. The more you use light and heavy to make the decisions and the choices in the course of your everyday life and living, the more your life and living is going to start to be aligned, meaning the things that happen to you, the things that you perceive, the serendipity is going to be more and more aligned with this kindness and an ease that you don't know it exists when you've spent your life kind of going against you. And there's lots of things in how we're trained that teach us to go against ourselves. And this is a really great tool to start practicing. I know it's simple. I know it's easy. I know we start and stop and we forget about it. And the more you just come back to it, and the more you use truth, blah, 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 light or heavy, water or paint thinner, the more everything is going to start to come around and be more and more nurturing and kinder and easier in your life. All right. So thanks for watching. I love to read your comments or send me an email, Delia at deliayeager.live. So thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.